What is one of the most important qualities that a survivor needs to have in Identity 5? Great kiting abilities? The ability to harass a hunter? Or maybe even rescue really easily without getting knocked down or without getting damaged? If you set one of the above, well, you're incorrect. A survivor's hair is the most important thing. So let's discuss. To make this video a little bit more manageable, I've had to divide the survivors into 4 different groups: rescuers, decoders, kiters, and support. Starting with the support survivors, we first have Sia. Since we are analyzing default skins, we can't analyze any of his other ones that have hair. This means that he falls to the bottom of the pile because you can't technically see his hair, although a little bit you can, not too much. For all we know, he could be completely bald, flashbacks to Joseph being bald, or he could just have amazing luxurious hair. We will never know. Because of this, he earns himself a D, putting him at the bottom of the list. Next up, we have Joseph's worst enemy, that is Doctor. Her hair is very neatly done and well organized underneath that little cap that she has, but she hasn't really gone out of her way to make her hair very extravagant. This is obvious because she wants to have more of a practical style, especially for the job that she's in, when her hair can't get in the way of what she's doing. Because of this, she earns herself a B. Postman's dog won't be counted for this tier list because if I do count his dog, then his score will be through the roof, possibly putting him into an S+ tier, and we do not have one of those. So let's discount his dog and let's talk about the postman himself, Victor. He has such amazing strawberry blonde hair, and it's styled in a relatively nice fashion, mostly just brushed to the side. Embalmer is in a similar situation to Postman, where his hair is very practical but nicely brushed. It would have been nice to see Embalmer go for more of a slick back look, maybe with some more product, especially since his job is quite manual and his hair probably would get in the way, but both of these survivors will both earn themselves a B as well. Although Lucky Guy is usually at the bottom of every tier list, this time he's not at the bottom. Well, he's not at the top either. He's still doing better than he usually does. His comb over side parting style haircut is very well done and does use a little bit of product, possibly even a perfect amount of product to keep it in the shape that he's made it into. Much better than my current hair at least. I need to go to a barber's. Yet I would say that his haircut isn't really over the top or extraordinary, earning himself an A, just like our next survivor that is Priestess. Her hair is very nicely braided into this one side of her head. You cannot see most of her hair because most of it is hidden under her hood, similar to Sia. For all we know, she could be hiding a bald spot on the back of her head. Conspiracy theory time. Barmaid's hair looks chaotic, but with closer inspection you can tell that it is very carefully styled, perfectly fitting the shape of her face. The extra dyed sections of her hair at the front also add to this extra touch that she's added specifically to try and get higher up on this tier list, I'm sure. Also earning her an A. At the top of the list we have Cowboy with an S. He is sporting a very complex style braided hair with different type of fashion accessories, as well as the little hat that he's got on top of his head. These little accessories in his hair are definitely to try and impress the ladies, and his short braids must take a long time to take care of and also to condition properly, earning himself, as I said before, an S. Moving on to rescuer survivors. At the bottom of the pack, like Sia once again, we have Mercenary. We cannot see his hair under his hood. For all we know, he could again be bald, and compared to Sia, it does look like he is bald under that hood, earning himself once again a D. Next up on the list we have Wildling, who obviously does not take care of his hair at all, but because there isn't anything between D and C, I've had to put him in C because he does have hair and he is showing it, but it is really unkept since you can see leaves and trees sticking out of it, although it is quite charming in some way. Forward's hair is quite chaotic, but that is probably due to the job that he has. His hair is quickly swept back and held back by a bandana that keeps his hair off of his face. This is more practical and I don't think he really cares about his look too much. But if you look carefully, if you took away that bandana, his head would be really tall. Because of this very chaotic style, this has also rewarded him a C. Coordinator has very well kept hair. She must put a lot of work into it to be able to prepare herself for her military training that she's in. Yet it still is quite practical and not exactly extravagant. Because of this, she is earning herself also a B. This is very similar to also our next two companions, Gravekeeper and First Officer, who also seem to have very well cared for hairstyles, but nothing super extravagant or amazing, or anything super aesthetic. I am especially fond of Gravekeeper's haircut because it brings me back to the old days. Good memories of emo days? I'm not sure. Next up we have the Kiters. This is the most extensive group out of all 4 that I'm going to talk about today. Almost all of them seem to sport some type of headwear that I found was very interesting after some analysis. And due to this, I have to analyze their hair creatively by judging what the hair that we can see and also assuming what they must have underneath it because of this. At the bottom of the list, we have entomologist, who, the same as seer and also mercenary, are covering their heads, so we have no idea what their hair is like. Because of this, she earns herself a D. I'm also not really sure how the hat on top of her head would protect her from the sunlight in the first place, since I'm pretty sure that's what the mask would do. But I think she knows what she's doing. The batter falls into a similar situation to Forward in the way that his hair is more just quickly put out of the way of his face so he can aim with his bat and not really styled in a specific type of way. He also is keeping his hair back off of his face with a bandana the same way the Forward is, so both of these two have a C. The acrobat and the dancer both have some type of head covering, and it's very difficult to judge their hair since not much of it is visible. But they have put some attention to their hair, at least comparing it to the hat that they're wearing, so because of this they also earn themselves a C. Prospector and Gardener on the other hand do have a little bit more hair visible, but once again they're wearing some type of head cover. Because we can see that they've styled their hair a little bit more, we would put them a little bit higher up on the C tier list, possibly towards B. The bearded duo thief and magician could definitely put all of our beards to shame, especially mine. They look incredibly well looked after, and I am personally quite jealous. Sadly, we cannot see the hair that is on top of their head, but technically their beard does also count as hair, so we're going to have to judge that. Both of their magnificent beards earned them a B. Enchantress and Painter also seem to have some type of head covering, but it is less obtrusive and you can see their hair much more. In the case of Enchantress, her hair is styled very nicely behind her little bandana that she's got. And with Painter, you can tell that he has used some type of hair product to be able to make these 2 little sideburns stick out a little bit. They also both earn themselves a B. The toy merchant has carefully crafted her 2 braided pigtails very carefully. This style really frames her face perfectly, and the little head cover that she has on top of her does seem to add to this aesthetic even more. She earns herself an A. I can also tell that the perfumer has taken a lot of care into making her hairstyle very attractive. She also seems to have some type of hair clip or hairband in her hair that makes her hair look even better than it was before, so she does seem to care very much about this. She also will earn herself an A. Moving on to our final category, now we have the decoders, and there aren't many of them. And from what we can tell, the decoders don't seem to be very focused on fashion at all. Mind's Eye has a very simplistic haircut under her very big hat. What we can see is that she does look after it, and it does seem to be very well brushed and taken care of. The same as Mechanic, who again is covering most of their head, but we can see their hair and it does seem to be well cared for and brushed once again. They both earned themselves a C. Prisoner's hair is really chaotic and disorganized. I really don't think he looks after it that well, but there is some charm to it, and I'm pretty sure that the community would agree that they find it very attractive. So because of this, and because he's showing his hair in comparison to those who are in D tier, he will also earn himself a C. The Explorer has a solid beard. Once again, I am very jealous. And his hair is similar to Lucky Guy's, but slightly less impressive. It doesn't seem to be styled or use as much hair product as Lucky Guy uses. Due to this, he will earn himself a B. Finally, we have Lawyer, who does seem to care for his hair quite a lot. He has a very nice, efficient, and very formal hairstyle that does seem to take a long time to make. Due to this, he gets himself an A. Would you change anything about this tier list? Or was I wrong about something? Tell me down in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, please give this video a like and subscribe if you'd like to learn some tips, some tricks, and maybe some secret information about Identity V that you didn't know. Take care, guys. Bye bye.